Hey guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to the Dyslexic Reader, and welcome to the month of July where I'm going to try to post a video every day. So if you're not subscribed to me or anything and you would want to see what's coming out over the rest of the month, subscribe down below and that way you won't miss out on any of the videos. But today we are doing my June reading wrap up, and I was travelling for most of June. If you were watching my channel you know that I didn't post videos for June because I was travelling, and I read more than I was expecting to read. I read 5 books and some of them were on the longer side, so I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with myself, and I also in June passed my reading goal of 52 books for the year, which was 1 book a week. That's what I set my goal for this year, and I think I'm on 54 now maybe. So I passed that in June, which is really cool too. And the camera is shaking because the cat is knocking it because she has decided today that she is not going to leave my side apparently. So let's just get started. My first book that I read this month or last month was Murder Games by James Patterson. This is my first ever James Patterson book. I never read one. I never really had any inclination, but then when traveling I was like, it's probably a good one, dip in and out of. You don't have to concentrate too much. They're small, so handy to throw in your bag, take on planes, etc. So I actually quite enjoyed it. I'm not sure I would ever read another James Patterson because I've heard they're very formulaic in the writing, and it's the same, not plot, but same steps every time type thing. So tell me down below if that's your experience with James Patterson or not, because if I thought that it was going to be different enough, then I would enjoy it. There was wee twists. I didn't quite get the whole way through it. I thought overall the murderer at the end kind of makes sense, but it wasn't as much a solvey thing as more of a thriller, less mystery, more thriller. But I did enjoy it. This one was about serial killer in Manhattan who was killing people and leaving playing cards with them. So they called him the dealer, and the playing card would predict the next victim. So king of clubs, and then it was a real party goer was killed because he was the king of the clubs. Do you know what I mean? So it was all linked in, and somehow our well, there were 2 main characters. There was the detective, and then there was an author whose book was left with the first victim, and he was kind of connected into it, and he helped her solve it. And yeah, I thought it was good. It was a good fun time. But then I don't know if because I was traveling, I was on and off planes and reading bits here and there, I wonder if that kind of enhanced the experience. If I was sitting at home really reading it seriously, would I have enjoyed it as much? I don't know, but leave your comments down below. Have you read James Patterson's? Are they all the same? Do you think I would like more? And if you've read a lot of them and you've read this one and you think, well, if you like this one you'll probably like this one, leave your recommendations down below because I am open to that. The next one I read was The Dream Snatcher by Abby Elphinstone. I'm not going to pronounce that correctly, but I'll put it up on the screen. I read a lot of ebooks this month because I was traveling, so it was easy to have them on my iPad. So this was the first in the series, and it is about a clan of gypsies in the wood, and one of the girls is an orphan, and there's a baddie after her, and it's about her adventures, why the baddie's after her. I don't want to give too much away because it's kind of a mystery within itself, but why the baddie is after her and the friends and stuff that she learns along the way. And there's obviously magic-y kind of type things in it. And, well, I read the second one as well. I'll talk about it next. But the first one, I only gave 3 stars. I gave 3 stars to James Patterson as well. Because, it was just fine. It was fun. But, the writing's not great. It was not mind-blowing in any way or whatever. But it was just enjoyable for what it is. And this was kind of the same thing. It was enjoyable for what it is. I thought the story was good, but the writing was awful. There was some sentences I literally laughed out loud when I read them because the sentences were so bad and cheesy and the dialogue was bad and stuff. But I read the second book in the series, which was called, let me double check because I can't remember it, The Shadow Keeper. It's a trilogy, I think, but my library only had the ebooks of the first 2, so I haven't read the third one. And in The Shadow Keeper, the writing was so much better. I think I enjoyed the story maybe of the first one more. But so I also got a 3 star for The Shadow Keeper, but it was slightly higher end of 3 stars because the writing was so improved. And it was just a fun Milgard series if you like that kind of wizardy forest, kind of combat and evil. There's a lot of animals and stuff in it as well, so if that's something that you enjoy, yeah, it was just fun, and it was fine. I enjoyed both of them equally. Then I read Missing by Shelley Gray Shepherd. Shelley Shepherd Gray. Again, I'll put it on the screen so you can see it. This was an ebook too. And I just saw this at the library, thought it looked interesting. It was a murder mystery and it was set in an Amish society. And I thought that sounded really interesting, and I had never heard of it, but it was like a New York Times bestseller and stuff, and I thought I would give it a go. And I was really enjoying it, and then I got to the end, they didn't tell you who the murderer was, and then I realised it's like a 4-part series. I was devastated. So I am going to try and like look at the library and see if I can get like the other 4. I am interested in continuing the series. Like, I like the characters and the growth, and I thought it was interesting, and there definitely was more issues other than just the murder to explore. But I would like the murder to have been wrapped up in the first book, so you could have just left it or continue with the characters. So that was kind of annoying. I need to find out who killed Perry. But yeah, so I'm going to continue on with this series. I'm not like dying to like pick it up next, but I'm going to continue with the series because and it's not just the murder. If it had just been the murder, I'd have just left my anger at it and been like, I'm never going to know, it doesn't matter. But I am genuinely interested like in the characters and continuing on, and I thought the writing was pretty good and the world was good and the characters were interesting, so I will continue with that. I gave it a 4 stars. It probably, if the murder had been revealed and it had been like satisfactory, like made sense and not been like a stupid ending, I probably would have given it a 5 stars because I did really enjoy it and I thought the writing was good. And then the last book that I read this month was Eragon by Christopher Paolini. This is the first in the Inheritance cycle, which is a 4-part series, and I loved this. It was 5 stars. It was great. It's fantasy, dragons, kind of Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Harry Potter kind of mix was the vibes that I was getting from this. And it's about a young boy who, there was dragon riders in the past, there were people who worked with dragons and they ruled and tried to make it. And then one of them fractioned off and killed all the rest of them and became kind of like the dictator, but there's no dragons left. And our main character is a 15-year-old boy who finds a dragon egg, and the egg hatches for him because the eggs will only hatch with who they're like meant to be paired with. And then it's about him and his dragon and them learning about magic and them trying to get away from the baddie and trying to like join like the Rebel Alliance and stuff. So yeah, it was really interesting. I thought the characters were good. I read parts of this and listened to parts of the audiobook because I bought the books, but I bought the whole series, and then like 2 weeks later my library got all the audiobooks, so I was like kind of swapping to and fro as I was traveling, just whatever suit. And the audiobooks was really good at this too. So this was big when I was kind of my early teens, and I tried to read it and it was just too high of a level for me. I couldn't physically read it, and I did struggle with parts of it now. I'm a lot better at reading now than I was 10 plus years ago, so I didn't struggle as much as I did then. But the audiobooks were great. The narration, I can't remember who the narrator was, but he was fabulous. He done all the voices. It was really good put together. The pacing and all was good. So if you're interested in this but are intimidated by, like, this is the smallest book and it's over 500 pages. I think the biggest one's like over 800 pages, the final series. So if that like puts you off, would recommend the audiobooks. They're great. So I only had like 2 books to show you, but I read 5 books this month, which I think was pretty good for how busy I was. And that's it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm doing the mid-year freakout tag tomorrow. I guess we're a little bit late for mid-year, but as I said, I was so busy in June. This has all just been pushed to July. But I hope you're all happy. I hope you're all healthy, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.